we watched that movie, A Quiet Place, day one. Let's talk about it. We're gonna announce in the bar down where there's spoilers and no spoilers. So keep that in mind. You can watch now. If you didn't see the movie, it's safe to watch until we say it's spoilers. I think the movie was okay.
Yeah, that's a good
I-
way to put it. Yeah,
Yeah, I liked it more than the second one.
for sure. I think the first one was amazing.
Yeah.
The second one was kind of bad.
Yeah,
Not the worst, but
I think the second movie, it wasn't the worst
Yeah,
movie
but
of
I didn't
all time or
enjoy it.
anything like that. But I didn't enjoy it either because the mystery wasn't there. The
Nothing
action
special
wasn't, nothing
happened.
special happened. Yeah, it was very generic.
And
but
this one was okay. I
this
mean, I
movie
guess
was okay.
being the first day, it's a bit of a gimmick, I think.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to continue with the series.
Yeah,
Because like for me, the monsters once you find the weakness and the
yeah, it's kind of over.
what they are, it's kind of over.
Yeah, and
like,
if you don't do
it doesn't
something
stand
new and
anything new.
creative, it's not that impressive. And here I thought, okay, maybe like, okay, it's the first time the monsters appear and the people don't know yet what's happening, but they caught on pretty quick. Like,
Yeah,
they immediately.
They pointed out the weaknesses of the monster in like first 20 minutes of
Yeah,
the movie
yeah.
or something like that, which was okay for me.
Yeah, it was
Because
okay.
like we, the audience, knew already.
Yeah, so yeah, it would have been stupid if they
Yes.
like fucked around for an hour not knowing.
It would have been stupid. Exactly. Okay, so yeah, the movie was enjoyable. I think the main cast was great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that either because the movie doesn't play around with the dialogue.
Yeah, obviously.
So
True.
you have to find the right people to have good emotions on their faces and very good expressions and so on. And they nailed that.
Yeah.
I think the only one who didn't was the cat, because the whole movie she didn't give a single fuck.
Yeah, it's really like the chillest cat ever.
Yeah, it was the chillest cat ever. Not a single meow, not a single scared.
Not a single hiss.
Yeah, nothing. It was like extremely chill, and
Yeah,
she was
and
like,
like,
"What
I
the
know-
fuck are you doing, humans?"
I know some cats are like that, you know, like they have different personalities and maybe like they got lucky with a super chill cat, but it was like almost too chill.
Yeah, I don't know. The cat was fine. I expected the cat to be more annoying and be like the main weakness of the main character or
Of the
something
group,
like that.
yeah.
And and like the cat would push objects over or meow or attract monsters somehow, but it didn't.
But I have to say, I'm glad
Yeah,
they didn't do that
yeah,
because
it was
honestly,
annoying and it
yeah.
was like very obvious.
Yeah, I don't like it when movies do that sort of thing where they show you like an animal and then like it dies really quickly or it's a huge liability for the group.
Exactly.
I feel like it's almost like emotional manipulation because like, oh, people like animals and it's cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
I think the cat was okay.
They played it very well.
It was, yeah.
I didn't expect that. They played it very well. Okay, the acting, as we said earlier, was great for the main cast. Nothing to complain about. I think the guy especially had amazing.
Like acting with his body, like
Yeah,
and his
yeah.
face. Yeah, I know he was like he had like some panic attacks and he was really putting
really into
on.
it. Yeah. It was like he didn't even act.
Yeah.
It was very believable.
Yeah, he's a great actor,
Mhm.
and he was on Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, he's the
It's
guy.
Eddie.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, I didn't know that until when you said that. Now it's just. It
Oh,
hit
the
me,
moment
yeah.
I saw his face, I was like,
Yeah.
you.
Okay, I didn't put it there like that.
And the main girl was also great. I've seen her in a few other movies. Like I think she was in Us, I believe.
For me, she didn't stand out, but she wasn't bad either.
No, sorry. See, well, that's what I'm saying about cats. I think the guy played it better, but she was also pretty good. Like at first I was expecting her to just be very sad and mopey and like I don't care.
Yeah,
but
okay.
she had emotions.
Yeah, no, she had emotions, but it's not about her or her acting. It's about the how she was written.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think she stands out because like okay, she had cancer, and it was her sad story with her dad and so on that later picked on a better character development.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, I didn't really care about her or anything about.
Yeah, I guess, and yeah, you're right. That's on the writing, not the acting.
Yeah, it's the writing. I think it didn't. I like that the movie was short, but
Mhm.
I don't think the beginning did any service to make me feel anything about the main character.
Yeah, I guess other than she's sick and sad, but that's
She
not
had a cat, and I cared more
about
about
the
the cat
cat.
than
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Than I
No,
mean,
yeah, I agree.
yeah,
I agree.
that's it.
Definitely started to care more about her once the guy was introduced, and I saw like how
Yeah,
friendly they
exactly,
are together.
exactly.
And yeah,
Yeah. I also like the movie details at the beginning, at least, because I don't think they played it with it later. Uh, when the movie started, they said like the New York had an average of 90 decibels. That's like a constant scream volume.
yes.
And then when they were inside, the volume of overall background was
Mhm.
lower. When they were
Mhm.
outside, the volume was louder with
Yeah, and
everything
it
that's
was like
happening.
sudden. Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it. They played with the sound very well for the movie. That basically
Yeah.
attention to details that
Yeah.
I really love
I
in
think this
movies.
would have been awesome in the cinema, but it was still pretty good with just headphones
Yeah,
on. Yeah,
yeah.
it was awesome.
She was also in the bus, and when she was in the bus, you could hear the volume of the outside lower, and then when
Mhm.
she was outside, it was
Yes, yes.
it was amazing, amazing details. What else can we say without spoilers?
Well,
Maybe
without spoilers,
I mean the monsters are whatever,
yeah,
because
we
like we
already
already
know
know
them.
from
Nothing
the
new happens to them.
they played a smaller role in this movie than I expected.
Yeah.
Like the trailer showed this apocalypse crazy happening,
Mhm.
but there's like 10 minutes of monsters in the whole
Yeah,
movie
I
or
have to
something like
say
that.
it
I mean, they are
was.
there, the danger is
Mhm.
there, but they don't really show how they kill people except a few scenes and here
Yeah,
and
they
there.
show more like the aftermath, like bloodstains on the wall and that
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie was way more about the relationship between the two characters and the cat
hmm
than the monsters attacking.
hmm And here is my problem. The movie, it's horror, but to me, it didn't feel like horror. It's I
Yes,
know horror is subjective or whatever, objective, how
subjective.
subjective, okay. And everyone perceives horror movie differently, and like for some people this is actually horror and scary, for some it isn't. But can we talk about this a little? Like horror genre, I think it needs a lot more tags
Like to split it up a
to
bit.
split it up,
Yes.
because okay, this is horror drama. I think it's even
Yeah,
it's
I'm
even
pretty
there
sure.
like horror drama in tags. But the drama, it's like 90% of the movie and 10% horror. Like okay, it's the end of the world,
Obviously, yeah.
monsters killing people. Okay, that part it's kind of horror. Okay, but the movie, it the focus of the movie is not on the horror.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I think maybe it's not only 10% because there were like some tense moments where I was like, oh my god, I felt like claustrophobic or like the monsters were close, but I would still say it's maybe like 30% a horror movie or something, but
Even with
like
the
less than half.
even with the claustrophobic moments or something, I don't think there was horror. It was okay. Uh, we should go into the spoilers now so we
Okay.
can evolve this discussion a little
Yes.
more with points from the movie. So spoilers on.
You
Okay.
have been warned.
Yeah. In the tunnel where they try to run from the monsters underwater,
Yeah.
there was a tension moment,
Yeah.
and the monsters up top, and it was whatever. But I still think that was not horror and scary at all. It was like, first of all, because we knew what the monster weakness is, we know how the monster looked. So that part of the mystery or what the monster will do or how it will act, it's gone.
I see what you're missing that, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen
Yeah.
feeling.
Because like they have the monster weakness, it's water. So just go underwater.
Yeah, but like,
First of all,
I
yeah.
guess the monster like almost got them in that moment. So
Sure, okay, it was thrilling. I'm not saying it's not thrilling or like adrenaline rushing or whatever, but it's not scary.
okay.
It's scary for the person in the movie, yes. But for me watching,
Yeah,
it
I
was
see.
okay. I'm worried for what is gonna happen to them. But that feeling is like in an action movie too, when it's war and they shoot at each other. It's what's gonna happen to my main character.
I guess
you know?
that's fair. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. They didn't have that mystery of the horror or for me to be like, oh my god, what's the monster gonna do? Is he just gonna fall in the water, catch them or no, or he's gonna drown or he didn't. I mean,
Yeah.
there wasn't too many possibilities there. And in the cities, the same. It's like, okay, it's apocalypse, it's monsters. We already know what they do. There's no, oh my god, can they evolve? Can they have tentacles? Or there was no scare moments. There was nothing.
Yes, yeah, I guess this
with
is one
mystery.
of those. It would have been scary if I was actually there, but
Yeah.
watching it, it's
Watching
not,
it is
yeah.
not, and that's why I'm saying this movie it's more drama. And okay, I like the movie, I liked it, but I don't like it as a horror movie, if that makes sense.
I see what you mean. You like it as a movie.
Yeah, I like it as a movie. I think it was good. It had an interesting play of the day one stuff and how they tried to leave the city and so on. The adventure of the main characters was great. I mean, I love how they became good friends.
Yeah, and I actually think it was interesting to see a main character who is already dying.
Yeah,
I
how
feel
it
like
would
that's
act in-
not a perspective you get a lot, so that I did like that aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone who's dying already in an apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The movie
But
was
yeah, it's-
interesting
yeah.
overall, but it's not horror.
Yeah.
It's not horror. Weakness of the movie is like the crowds.
Yeah, the crowded moments were. It's such a weird like type of apocalypse, I guess, because it's like even if you're doing everything right, if someone comes next to you, you're dead.
Yeah, I mean, crowds are never okay in movies
Yeah.
like this because variables,
I mean, yeah,
crazy
I mean,
people,
it did
people
go
with
bad.
problems,
So.
and yeah, it did go bad. It was like I don't even understand. Like, there's so many people walking, the steps will make sound.
Yeah, there were some moments where I was like, surely that's gonna make a sound, but it technically didn't.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Sometimes they were like running on like granite,
Mhm.
and that would make a sound, but
Yeah,
the
and they-
monsters didn't hear it.
Most
I
of
was
them
like,
had shoes. It's not like they
Yeah,
were in
yeah.
socks and
Yeah.
whatever. So it
yeah, I
should
had a
have
few
made
moments
sound.
that bothered me, and one more like small, tiny nitpick detail. Sometimes where it's a very like actiony scene and they're like running or swimming, they didn't show the cat at all, even though the cat was with them. And I know that's probably because it was hard, but I was like, where is it? Where is the cat? And then they only show it when things calm down.
Yeah, they would like put it in the bag and so on.
And
played
they
with
they
them.
put it in the bag and they don't show the bag in the. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
hello.
I mean, it was hard to record with
I
an
know,
animal.
I
and
know.
so on,
That's
but
like
it's
I know.
nitpicking. That's nitpicking. Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention it.
yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. As I said, the overall movie it's great. I don't know how really to judge it as a horror, as a drama, because like if I'm judging it as a horror, it's bad.
It's tagged
If
as
I'm-
both, so
Yeah, okay.
it's both.
It's both, but the horror it's not there. So I don't know. Anyway, the chemistry between the two main characters was great.
Mhm.
I liked their journey. I liked how they became friends. I didn't expect that. I don't know. I don't really know what I expected when I saw them, especially the main girl pushing him away at the beginning.
Mhm.
But then I think he got more interested in her personal life and become friendly.
Mhm.
And she was like, okay, this guy is nice.
She was like, fine.
He was also helping her getting meds. I didn't expect that either because she's like a stranger. Okay, you know her for like one day.
Yeah. I
and
guess he
you risk your life for her.
he wanted to do something nice for her.
Yeah, for like
Because she,
she's
let
already
him-
struggling
yeah.
and she let him go with him.
Because he was scared to be alone at the start. He was
Yeah, I
starting
think-
to have a
yeah,
panic attack.
That's what I like about this chemistry basically because he had panic attacks very strongly.
Mhm.
He was very afraid to be alone and so on, and he somehow found comfort in the cat and her as a
And then,
friend.
Yeah.
So she tried to help him, like, okay, come
Yeah.
with me.
Mhm.
And he was trying to pay back the kindness by risking his
Yes.
life with the meds and so on. And then even better, I didn't expect the main girl to sacrifice herself at the end.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't expect her necessarily to sacrifice herself, but I was kind of expecting her to die somehow. Because I could tell from the start that she wasn't even trying to escape. She didn't want to leave. She was like, I just want to go see my
Yeah.
home and I'll die
That's
here.
fair.
But yeah, I guess I kind of started to expect it when she started becoming such good friends with the guy. I was like, okay, like you're
I
gonna
didn't.
die for him.
I didn't because
But technically, I mean, she didn't die in that exact moment.
yeah, but
But she did,
still,
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
expect that because okay, at first, yeah, it was looking like that because the crowd was going to escape
Mhm.
and she was walking against the crowd.
Which, by the way, that's a good scene.
Yeah. And then okay, she doesn't care basically. She wants her slice of pizza and whatever and die
Yeah.
peacefully because her life is almost over anyway.
Mhm.
But then she became friends with this guy and I thought, okay, maybe my life it's okay, worth living for like as little as I have just
Oh, I see.
just
I see.
because we're
Just
friends,
to,
you know,
yeah,
like
just to survive with
he
him.
risked his life for my meds and maybe I can not like a love story or anything, but like friendship and
Yeah.
live for her cat how much she has left or something like that.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking like at the end maybe she did want that, but when she saw that the boat was like surrounded by monsters, she made
Probably.
a decision then. She was like, okay,
Probably because it
I
looks
have
like that
to-
also because basically they were walking together to the boats,
yeah.
but then
And yeah,
the guy
yeah,
got very scared.
I think that if the boat was like okay and there, I think she would have left
Yeah,
with them.
probably.
But in like that situation, she was like, okay, like I'm not gonna leave, but
Yeah,
you and the
because she realized that they can't both go since the monsters are on the beach and everywhere
Yeah,
looking towards the boats, and without a distraction they could not turn the
Yeah.
boats around or anything like that. So and they couldn't reach the
he
water
couldn't like
anyway.
run. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. It was freaking sad, dude.
Yeah,
Like
but I didn't
shed a
really.
tear.
I really didn't care about her at all. Almost.
Oh, not necessarily just about her, just like the whole situation got me a bit because there's a cat involved, and I was like, oh,
I don't know. It was a sad movie. It worked in that way. Like I'm not saying it didn't affect. I think it has the power to affect people emotionally, but not for me.
no, fair enough. And I have to say, I like when I say I shed a tear, I actually didn't shed a tear when she died at the end. I shed it when he escaped with the cat on the boat. I was like, damn, okay, this is sad.
Yeah, I personally I think that was the problem with the movie for me because I didn't care about her that much. The movie didn't made me care about her. Maybe if they did something,
Different.
it would have been better. But
Yeah, no, I
whatever.
get what you mean because in a way she's presented from the start in hospice and she's like kind of accepted her death. Yeah, I get it. I think it would have hit me harder if the guy died and she like lived.
Yeah, because I don't know, like he had his whole life in front and he was he was also very kind.
Yeah.
Since he risked his life for the girl, like yeah, I don't know. But even then, I don't know. Yeah, overall, I still don't know how to. I'm gonna treat this movie as a horror because otherwise I wouldn't have watched it in the first place.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I don't really watch.
I mean, I
other
guess
kind of
it's part of a horror series, so even if this one is more drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just because I'm giving a bad note or something, it doesn't mean you don't have to watch it. I really recommend this movie, but again, not as a horror. If you really want to watch a horror movie, this is not the movie for you. If you want to watch a good movie, this is a movie for you because it's good. It was okay movie. I also like that it wasn't that long.
Yeah, it
It's
felt like
1 hour and a half or even less than that.
And because of that, they didn't
fuck
drag
around
for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even drag the scenes.
Pacing was
the
perfect,
pacing,
actually.
Yeah, it was slow paced. It had really slow moments, but they were well done with the sounds and details that made them great. But yeah, I don't know. As a horror movie, for me, this is like a 2 out of 5. But as a movie, I think it's like a 4 out of 5. So again, if you want to watch a horror movie, this is not it. If you want to watch a good movie, you watch it. It's very hard. The movie put me into a conflict of how should I note movies or
how to rate
movie, because this movie doesn't deserve a 2 out of 5. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, but that's like the horror.
But that's the horrorness in it.
Yeah, that's like that's the horror level, you know, like you have a spice level, that's the horror level.
Because I've seen, it's not even about that necessarily, but I've seen worse horror movies, okay? That they tried to be horror and they were shit.
Yeah.
And I don't think this movie deserves a 2 as it's bad or it doesn't
I know.
happen stuff. But
Yeah. No, I get where you're
I don't
coming
know.
from. It almost reminds me of, if you remember when we watched Arrival. I think that was a really good movie about aliens and stuff, but some people were saying that, oh my god, it's so horror, it's so scary, the aliens. And I was like, no,
yeah, I
it's
don't know.
not.
It's
It's
also
good,
because
but
I
it's.
think somewhere at the half of this movie or a little later, I even forgot that I'm watching a horror movie.
Yeah, I agree. Like the
was
the
nothing-
scarier, tense stuff
Yeah.
was like more towards the front of
Yeah.
the first half of the movie, and then
Exactly.
it kind of just went sad and
The
drama.
only moments that you remember that this is a horror movie was when the helicopters were
Yes.
over their city and the monsters were ravaging to go
Yeah.
on top of for them or something, and they were staying in the
Yeah.
bunkers or whatever in the buildings,
Houses.
and they were afraid for them in the. But I, like, okay, I know nothing is gonna happen. I know nothing, and
Yeah.
that moment is like 1 minute. And then it goes slowly, peacefully again,
Yeah.
silent, nothing happens, and so on and so on. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know how to rank this movie. It's very conflicted to me because it's a good movie, but it's not a horror movie.
Yeah, that's tough.
So yeah, that's why that's why I'm splitting it
Splitting.
like this, because I don't want to. I'm not even gonna go in IMDb or whatever the
Letterboxd.
letterbox to note it, because I don't want to give it a bad note.
You could like average them, I guess.
I don't want that either because
That's still dragging it down.
it's
Yeah.
still dragging it down. For some movies, the averaging them, it's worth it. But I think here, just remove the horror tag and put it like thriller, maybe
Thriller, drama. Yeah.
thriller drama or
Action
something like
even.
that. Action even, yeah, because it's like end of the world action movies. There's bunch of them. It's like aliens,
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, as a horror movie, it's a 2 out of 5. As a normal movie, as a drama or something, it's a 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go that complicated.
Yeah,
As a movie, it's a 4 out of 5 stars for me too.
Okay.
Like
That's
it's
fair.
up there with the good ones.
Yeah, no, this is for me because I'm a huge horror.
No, I
centered
understand
nerd.
the clarification and I agree. But like I'm not gonna bother
Yeah.
rating on 2 scales.
So yeah, go watch the movie. Don't expect something scary. Don't expect to
Or maybe if you're sensitive, do expect something scary. I don't know. You can tell us like your
I
opinion.
don't think this is the kind of movie that you can sleep without lights
Yeah.
or something like.
I have to say, like, maybe if you don't watch horror ever, maybe you would be a little creeped
Okay,
out.
maybe
Sure.
it's something else, but yeah. I
But
don't know.
if you watch horror, yeah, you're gonna be fine.
Anyway,
Also, the cat
this-
was fine.
Anyway, yeah, this is like weird for me with this horror genre. It has so many movies
yeah,
that
yeah,
sometimes they shouldn't be put into the horror,
yeah.
and I think the horror should be way more spread out in different kind of genres. But I don't have the solutions for that. I don't have the solution for that.
I feel like that's a whole ass discussion.
That's a whole ass discussion, yeah. But I still think this movie will be better with action drama than anything else. Yeah. Have you watched the movie? What did you think about it? Which one was your favorite from the list? I think mine was this one.
From the series?
Yeah, from the
Yeah,
series.
no, I agree. It's this one, then the first one,
Then the
and
first
then
one,
the second one.
and then the second
one
one.
is kind of, I
Yeah.
wouldn't watch it again.
It's funny about this because when I saw the second one, I was, dude, we don't need a third movie.
For sure, and
Like,
then actually
come
it's
on.
better.
And when I saw the trailer of this one, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
even want to go to cinema to see it, and we didn't. But
Yeah, but it
watching
was
it now,
better,
it was
yeah,
okay.
than
I didn't
expected.
expect it. Yeah, yeah. Well, good movie overall. Yeah. Please leave a like, subscribe, share the video, join the discussion. I think from now on, we don't want to call this type of movie the videos as reviews,
Yeah,
because I don't feel like
I
we're
know.
reviewing
I'm
the
like,
movie.
I'm not a critic. I'm just like talking,
Yeah.
I guess.
So it's just movie discussions from now on. But yeah, okay. Go watch the movie if you didn't. If you did, what did you think about it? And again, which one of the series was your favorite? Tell us in the comments. And if you have any other suggestions for movies or movie trailers, leave them in the comments as well. Bye.
Thank you for watching. Bye.